I never walked into marriage expecting constant excitement or cinematic romance. I believed in steadiness, shared routines, and growing together through ordinary days. My name is Rowan Hale. I am 43, and for 12 years I was married to Alara Finch. I worked logistics management, paid the mortgage, fixed things quietly, and kept promises. Alara liked to tease that I was predictable, dependable, safe. I took that as praise. We laughed, traveled modestly, built habits, and trusted each other. Or at least I thought we did. Back then, certainty felt permanent, unbreakable, earned, and mutual between us both always. Alara had a sharp wit and a habit of joking when conversations turned uncomfortable. At dinners with friends, she would toss playful insults and wait for reactions. I usually smiled and let it slide. One evening, after too much wine, she laughed and said maybe she would find 2 men half my age tonight. Everyone laughed. I noticed how easily it left her mouth. She called it humor. I felt something tighten, but I swallowed it because men are taught not to overreact, especially in public moments. That was the first warning I ignored without protest or hesitation. Pride, foolishly. Jokes of echoes. They reveal comfort levels, boundaries, and contempt when repeated. After that night, Alara teased more often, always framed as harmless fun. Comments about my clothes, my routines, my age. I adapted by shrinking. I listened more, spoke less, and tried harder. I planned thoughtful dates, fixed neglected projects, and stayed attentive. The more I leaned in, the colder she became. Intimacy faded into polite gestures. We shared a bed, but not closeness. Silence replaced connection, and tension replaced warmth. I told myself phases pass, love matures, patience proves character eventually if given time, effort, faith, alone, repeatedly. The night everything shifted was quiet, unremarkable, almost gentle. We were getting ready for a charity mixer hosted by her firm. Alara studied herself in the mirror, adjusting earrings, smiling. I mentioned her joke from weeks before, said it lingered with me. She laughed again, brushed it off, and repeated it, slower this time. Maybe tonight I will find 2 men half your age. Her eyes searched mine. I said nothing. Inside, something settled, heavy and final, like a door closing. I realized humor without respect becomes cruelty when repeated intentionally, and that clarity arrived without anger, shouting, or fear. I had planned something that evening, not revenge, not spectacle, but clarity. Earlier that week, I finalized documents I hoped never to use. A separation agreement, calmly drafted, fair, precise. I booked a modest apartment nearby, transferred essentials, and closed loose accounts. I prepared because patterns rarely reverse. At the mixer, I greeted colleagues politely, listened, smiled. When Alara drifted away, laughing too loudly, I excused myself. I was not jealous. I was resolved. Plans feel different when they are quiet and complete. They remove doubt, delay, and negotiation from emotional decisions entirely, leaving no room for bargaining, denial, hope. Later that night, in the car, Alara noticed the envelope on the seat. Her tone shifted when she read it. The joke drained from her face. She asked if this was a prank. I said no. I explained simply that respect had eroded, and I would not audition for affection anymore. I did not accuse, threaten, or beg. I stated facts. She froze because she expected anger, not preparation. Control feels safe until it disappears. She realized the humor had consequences she never considered seriously. Silence followed, heavier than shouting, heavier than apologies, heavier than regret that night, alone, together. I moved out the next morning, early, without drama. Alara watched, stunned, asking when we would talk. I told her we already had, for years, through jokes, distance, and dismissal. She said she was kidding. I replied that jokes reveal truths people practice saying aloud. I wished her well. That confused her more than anger would have. Friends later asked why I did not fight harder. I said dignity is not loud. It leaves quietly when it finally understands its worth. Some endings do not need witnesses, explanations, or permission to be valid. They simply require resolve, timing, courage, acceptance. Months later, perspective arrived without bitterness. I learned silence can be communication, jokes can be tests, and preparation can be self-respect. I did not leave because of younger men or imagined betrayals. I left because the ground beneath partnership requires mutual regard. When that erodes, staying becomes self-abandonment. Alara eventually apologized, saying she never thought I would act. That sentence explained everything. She misjudged my limits. I had finally defined them. Peace followed, understated, steady, earned. I rebuilt routines, friendships, and confidence without performing strength or bitterness. Each day reinforced that calm decisions compound into lasting freedom, quietly. If there is a lesson here, it is not about pride or punishment. It is about boundaries communicated through action. Humor that diminishes is not harmless. Silence that follows is not consent. Planning is not cruelty. It is self-preservation. When someone jokes about replacing you, believe the comfort behind the words. Respond with clarity, not chaos. Walk away without slamming doors. The shock they feel is not your responsibility. It is the sound of assumptions breaking under reality. I learned this late, but not too late to matter for me, my future, and the life I choose now, freely. Today, I live smaller but truer. I do not chase validation or tolerate disguised disrespect. I listen to patterns, not promises. If humor cuts, I address it once. If it continues, I leave. Love should feel safe, not negotiated. The plan I made saved me because it restored agency. When she joked about younger men, she expected insecurity. She met preparation instead. That contrast changed everything. Some people freeze when they realize jokes stopped being funny and consequences arrived calmly. I did not raise my voice. I simply chose myself, finally, without apology, hesitation, regret, resentment, fear, delay, or doubt.